Ellum. Robson. Good play, up goes Cousins. Yes! Good work from the man they call the Newcastle Whippet, Tommy Robson. Although the game might be over, Tommy Robson didn't give up, and he got a good crossover for Cousins to get up and knock one down into the net for Peterborough's opening goal.
Tommy was sensational. He scored on his debut, and from that day, he was sensational. His runs down the wing, he was so fast, quick, his crosses, goal scorer.
I hated him as a player. I was manager of Barnet, late 70s, and we played Peterborough, non-league side, giant killing, you know, loved it. We played Peterborough and unfortunately lost 2-1, and that little Geordie bastard got the winning goal, and 2 or 3 years later, we got Peterborough in the FA Cup again. And I thought, nah, we'll get revenge here. And same thing happened. Peterborough won, 1-0, and that little Geordie bastard got the winner again. So before I knew Tommy, I hated him. But since I've met him, he's the loveliest man you could meet.
Well, when I first came to the football club and got introduced to everybody, particularly around match days and everything else, when they used to train here as well, one of the people I met was Tommy. And we were sitting down just sharing. He was reminiscing, telling me about his career and everything that he'd done. And then not only was he a legend at this football club, but then we got into a conversation about when he was at Chelsea. And so I went and did a bit of research after that, and I actually saw Tommy play for Chelsea at White Hart Lane in December 1965. I'm pleased to report that Spurs won 4-2, but it just shows you the level that this man played at. He played with the greatest players that were around in the 60s, and I don't think we should ever forget that as well, because if you want to talk about the word legend, Tommy truly is exactly that.
He's a wonderful guy. I've been at Peterborough 25 years as manager, secretary, chairman, owner, director of football. Tommy's been here like 50 years doing everything, but he's been very, very supportive to me. He's very supportive to everybody. He's a true posh legend in every sense.
He is at the very heart of the football club, particularly around what we do for the hospitality on a match day. Everybody wants to meet him. He has everybody in stitches. He's murder. He'll tell a million jokes on a match day, but everybody loves it. They love being part of the football club, and he's what we're about. We're a family football club, and Tommy's right up there in the hierarchy.
He has been a big part of my career as a manager at Peterborough. I've known him over a number of years now. Lovely man, really nice guy, so humble. Was a great player, obviously, a great servant of the football club. But the one thing that struck me about Tommy, he's always, in difficult times, was always there. If a word in your ear, or say, "You all right, son?" Or I really appreciated that, and still do. He's a lovely man, and I'm glad we're doing, these dinners, and he fully deserves it. And obviously, we, as a club, we want to do as much as we can for him, but he's been a real support for me, in particular with the difficult times.
Tommy came and asked to see Barry and I one Saturday morning, pre-match, and we sat down in my office, and Tommy shared the challenges that he's got moving forward, and it was a very sad and sombre meeting. The three of us ended up having a cuddle, wiped our eyes, and then he stepped up to the plate, just as he always does, and went out and did his match day meet and greet. He's a stunning man, from a stunning family and a stunning heritage, and he's what this football club is all about.
It's been months now, about 4 or 5 months. I started off with cramps in my hand, and my fingers would lock in a position. I would have to peel them open, and the pain was quite heavy. And then I started getting cramps in my legs and bits and pieces, and you run it off. You think, oh, I'm just tired, or my wife said, oh, you don't drink enough water, and this leads to cramps. So you put that off, and then all of a sudden it started to get a bit worse, and I started to get these pains up the back of my neck into my head, and they were excruciating, terrible. So we went down to the doctors and they examined me, and then I went back again and examined me, and then I went to a specialist, and she says, right, I'm sending you down to Cambridge. I need to get you looked at, and they stick pins in you and whatever and all the rest of it. And then I went back to see her, and she says, by then, funnily enough, we sort of half realised what was happening. My wife was good at reading up on things, and it sort of was coming clearer to us. And then when I went to see her after she had all the results, and she said, I'm ever sorry to tell you, and to be the one to tell you. And she's so lovely. And she said, but we greatly believe it's motor neuron disease. What might relate to this is that when you think things, it's not too bad, but when you get told, that then hits you, and you realise, you know, what you've been thinking. You ain't thinking it anymore. You know it. You know what's up, and of course you have to get over it. I mean, my son lives in Brighton, my daughter lives in Whittlesea, and we all got here and got together. And I don't mind telling people, we all sat there and we all had a good cry. We just brought it out into the open and said, look, this is what's going to happen in a few years. Can't do anything about it. You know, I can't get any better. I can only get worse. You can't fight it. You can fight, and you can stay here as long as you possibly can, but you can't win. You cannot win, not at the moment. They are working on it, and there's several footballers got it. I'm not the only one, believe me. I mean, my son sort of has looked on the internet, and there's 3 or 4 players who are either have died from it or are fighting it. And I'm going to be one that fights it.